Hey, I have a second channel. Cube Compium DDX. Hey everybody. So I'm troubleshooting this FSP 300 watt power supply. I think came originally from an Acer system. I've got two of these. This one right here, it works, but it makes a lot of like a hissing noise. Not really sure what's going on there. Maybe it could be bad caps. I looked inside of it and the caps are there's no visible like failure on them, but sometimes capacitors, especially electrolytic capacitors, can fail without bulging. Here's another one of these units. This one here only provides 5 volt standby, but does not power up. It's a little bit different subject. I might cover it in a different video. But this one, just give you a brief description of what it's doing. Provides 5 volt standby only, and on the PS on lead, the green wire, there is about 4 volts, which the green wire is literally it's a logic lead. It's just a signal. You basically, with a motherboard, when you go to power on a computer, the motherboard actually connects that green wire to ground, which pulls it down to a low state, and that tells the power supply to come on. When you pull it down, nothing happens. I'm going to take this one in to the lab probably tomorrow or sometime this weekend. I'm going to check the outputs, see if there's any shorts in them. I can backfeed it with the lab bench supply at a low current, and that can tell me if there's any like shorted capacitors or something like that. How much you'll bet it's probably capacitors. But anyways, over here at this unit, I got this little oscilloscope hooked up, and we're going to see if perhaps we got a noisy rail. So the unit's of course not running right now, but we're going to start it here in a sec. I got it plugged into mains, and this is a little something I'm doing while I'm waiting on this computer here to finish up with Windows installation for a different video I'm working on. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and jumper this lead here to turn this power supply on. And you're going to probably hear some noise. You may be able to hear it. So, of course that computer is running, but if you listen closely, you can actually hear it pretty good. So this is the 12 volt rail. It is definitely not happy. It would still run a PC like this, but the PC don't think it'll really much like it. It's actually a point where it's picking up frequency. So let me try a different rail. Yeah. So I think it could actually be in the main switchers. The matter of fact, the main switchers I think are making the noise. Something definitely does not seem right with this unit. That's the 3.3 volt rail. Not happy at all. It's actually, well, if I get this to stay put, it is actually, like I say, it looks like it's picking up almost like a This is the problem I have with these leads. They don't want to stay put. Alright. Yeah, guys, have a look at that. That's just ugly. You can see the normal noise you get with one of these, but you can see there's also almost like a sine wave in there. It's really bizarre. Okay, this thing's been running for a little bit now, and it seems like things have leveled off just a little bit, but you can still hear it. It's still making a good bit of noise. If you look here, our max is 292 millivolts. Our min is would be negative 496. Frequency of 26 hertz, and we're picking this up on. This is the 3.3 volt rail. Let me switch over to the 5 volt rail. Now, I'm not the most familiar with using this particular little scope here, but let's see here. This is the 5 volt rail. The 5 volt rail, you see, seems cleaner, but you can definitely hear there's something going on for sure, and it's not happy. So here is a 12 volt rail. Pretty noisy. But we're picking up a frequency of 133 hertz on that. It's kind of jumping around. Alright, just for the heck of it, let's see what the 5 volt standby rail is doing. See, the 5 volt standby rail looks a lot happier. Well, we are picking up some noise, but like I said, I'm not super used to this scope here. Picking up says 3 hertz, but I'm gonna say that 5 volt standby rail looks much cleaner. See, that's a 5 volt standby. Now switch over to the 5 volt rail. That is just ugly. So the scope is not auto changing the period nor the volts for division. So that's picking up raw noise. Again, 3.3 volt rail. See, I have to wonder, honestly, I do kind of have to wonder if maybe the primary capacitors are going bad in this unit. I may change out the primary caps and see if that makes any difference, because the fact that we're getting so much noise on all of the rails, it just leads me to believe that perhaps the primary caps could be our culprit, because it does sound like the noise is coming from the main switchers. And this it appears to be a half bridge unit. It's got two 13007s in there. I'm trying to get this dang lead to stay in place. She's proven to be a real chore. Alright, so I'm going to actually disconnect power to the unit. See what happens. And of course there's a delay on the scope. Alright, let's reconnect. So the noise isn't there right away. You may have heard it. You may have heard the noise pick up just a moment after attaching mains power to the power supply, and it switched straight on because, of course, I had the leads jumpered. let's attach some load to this thing. Sacrifice one of these crappy old hard drives over here. Plug a hard disk in, and we'll see what happens. Now, of course, when you attach load, it's going to definitely alter, especially when it's electronic components. It's going to alter the noise. Because you may get some noise coming back from a device too. So you may notice how things kind of leveled out. So now we got the hard drive hooked up, which the sticker rating of the hard disk is about an amp on the plus 5 volt rail and 0.6 amps on the 12 volt rail. And you can see how things have really leveled off. Now, if this thing had a solid, just constant load, that'd be great. But of course, when you run this in a computer, that's not always the case. And I'll go and include some footage of this power supply powering a Dell Optiplex 390, and you could just hear the noise that it makes. Pretty crazy, huh? So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the hard drive and let's have a listen. And the noise has returned. And I should mention again, it does sound like it's coming from the main switchers. And see, the crazy thing is this. I do believe this is probably a group regulated power supply. So you can see how, again, just to remind you, we're looking at the noise on the plus 3.3 volt rail, which is not powering the hard drive. So you can see how things just level right off. One thing I'll definitely attempt with this is probably a recap. And I'm probably going to change out those primary caps too while I'm in there. Because the thing is, I question if the primary caps are failing. So, not to bore you guys out too much more, I'm going to go ahead and switch this off. So we're now in soft off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to attach the multimeter to the plus 5 volt standby. That way we can monitor it when the unit gets unplugged from mains, because I want to see how long this thing stays alive before the main caps discharge. So you can see here we have 5 volts, and this unit does have a IC controlled 5 volt standby. It uses a DM311 chip. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect power, mains power from the unit. Let's see how long it takes for it to discharge. The primary caps do seem okay. It's still holding several seconds later. I was mainly curious to see if it would drop out pretty rapidly, but that's not happening here. Now, of course, this unit has no load on it, so it's going to, of course, run for a while longer. So What I'm going to probably try with this unit is I'm going to probably try recapping the secondary, get some fresh capacitors in there, and see if that nets us any result. And you can see we're still holding, and if I actually jumper to green and black and tell it to come on, that discharged it pretty rapidly. So I know this ain't the most exciting video I've ever posted, but I figured I'd just take y'all along for the ride. And I know at least a couple of my viewers are interested in working on these power supply units. Tell me what you think. The sound it definitely sounds like the noise is coming from the main switchers. So we'll look at this unit over here. You can see inside it pretty well. It's got, you can see that little capacitor right there. That tells me this is likely a half-bridge topology. We got two 13007s in there, which I think are BJTs. Not sure of the size of the primary caps. I'm going to say they're probably between the neighborhood of 680 to 820 microfarad, something like that. Pretty big caps. Yeah, definitely a noisy unit, especially when it has no load on it. So anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Well everybody, that wraps it up for this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like the video. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the computer channel, and be sure to tick that bell so you'll get notified when new videos are posted. Also, don't forget, I have a whole lot of other interesting videos here on the channel to check out. And also, in addition, I have a second channel, CubeComp MTDX, where I have all sorts of other videos not exactly related to technology. Links to the channels are available at the end of this video. Again, I thank you for your support and thanks for watching this video.